everyone, so I'm going to start off my Stay Strong series with an advice video because I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys. I think that these types of videos definitely are more personal, and I feel like I am closer to you guys as an audience instead of just, you know, showing beauty stuff. This is like more personal, I guess. So I'm gonna start off with this series by talking about fear, because I feel like fear has a really big impact on a lot of people's lives. I think that it can really change the way you think as well as change how you act around people. It can limit what you do in life. And so I'm just gonna tell you guys like my story with it, and also kind of talk to you guys on how to get out of this fear and you know, how to live your life without fear. To start off, I was a very, very fearful person. I still kind of am with like smaller things. Like I hate bugs. I hate horror movies. I really don't like horror movies. I'm actually claustrophobic. I'm medically considered claustrophobic. And with those things, I can't really give you guys advice about it because I'm still scared. I had a fear of being left alone. And this started at a very young age. I was super scared of being left alone at any time of day. I had to be around someone, and I feel like that kind of influenced how I acted in middle school and a little bit of freshman year, was that I needed to surround myself with people to kind of feel a fulfillment, and I felt like the more people I had around me, the better. And I feel like I kind of got lost along the way because of that fear. I feel like I developed a lot of friendships that weren't really good for me. I think it kind of had to do with the fact that there's a lot of bullying at my school, especially my middle school. It's like the more friends you had around you, the less you would get hurt. That's what I was thinking. And I feel like when you have a fear, you just don't want to get hurt. That's pretty much why you fear this thing or this situation, is that you don't want to get hurt. And so even when I was in middle school and a little bit of high school, I surrounded myself with tons and tons of people, and I did everything in like my possible like right mind. I did everything to become noticed or to be part of this huge friend group that I wanted to be a part of, because I didn't want to be alone, because then bullies will pick on me. You have to notice when and how your fear started, and sometimes it's really hard to pinpoint a certain time that a fear will start. And I know I didn't really know like when this fear like came up, but the way I realized how much it was affecting my life was that one day, I think it was my 14th birthday, I forgot where it was too, but it was some party. We were gonna all go to this party, and it was my birthday, so I was really excited and everything. It actually ended up being a terrible night for me because I actually never showed up, and I was alone on my birthday at a party with a bunch of kids that were way older than me. And it was my birthday, and I had kind of blown off my parents to hang out with my friends. I was really upset about it, and I kind of got in this really bad state of mind, and I think that's when I kind of realized how much this fear was affecting me as a human being, and how it was affecting my choices, how it was affecting, you know, how I built friendships and stuff like that. And it did take a really long time to kind of get over that, and now it's really weird because I would prefer to, you know, have my time, like me time, and then have friend time as well. But I, over the years, kind of try to find a balance between it. Sometimes it's very hard to find a solution to your fear or how to, you know, get over it. So it's really good to like talk to a friend, talk to your parents, talk to a therapist, anyone like that who might understand what you're going through. I find that it's easier for me to talk to like a best friend instead, because they're your age, they're going through whatever school grade you're going through, and I feel like a lot of teens think that they're alone with their fear and they're alone with what they're going through. But when you think about it, we're all the same age. And everyone goes through some type of hardship in their life. Someone's going to doubt themselves. Some people get bullied. You know, there's so many different aspects in a teen's life, but we're all gonna experience some type of pain together. It's really important to find people that you trust and being able to open up to them, because that can solve a lot of different fears. So that was like a fear that developed when I was younger, and now it's completely gone. I do not fear of being alone too often. And another one of my fears is to connect with people and trust people. I have very bad trust issues. It probably started when I was in freshman year of high school. Definitely after getting bullied a lot in middle school. It was like, do I want to trust people? Do I know what they're gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. I was hanging out with a lot of older kids, and they were definitely more mature than I was, because I had just graduated from middle school, and they were, you know, definitely 2 or 3 years older than me, and they definitely knew what they were doing in high school, and I was like a freshman and I didn't know what to do. There's a certain point where you're like, should I trust this person? I've been hurt so many times, or I have been lied to so many times that it's hard to try to open up to people again. And I feel like kind of isolating myself after the whole bullying thing, being able to open up to people was really hard for me. It still is pretty hard for me, and there's probably like 4 people in the whole world that I completely trust. Like, I trust them with my life. I trust them with every single part of my life. There's only about 4 to 5 people that I completely trust, and that doesn't matter how many. If you have one person, if you have 10 people, that's amazing, that's great for you. It doesn't matter, but you need to find one person in your life that's going to kind of be like your anchor, and who knows every bit of you and can tell how you're feeling even when you're not talking. You know, I still have a fear of kind of letting people in and kind of trusting people, just because I feel like I've been lied to a lot, and I just have trust issues, just because, you know, I feel like people just leave. And since I do move around a lot, like I moved 4 times in the year of 2014, and I think it's just hard for me to trust people, just because I know that I can't stay with them for a really long amount of time. I've never had really something that was a part of my life for a very long amount of time. My advice to you guys about fear: the first thing is that you have to let the emotions come to you. In society nowadays, there's like this whole rule where guys can't cry, or better to not show your emotion in front of people, and I feel like that is something that can blow up on you if you kind of let everything in. I know when I was in middle school and I was getting bullied, was that I kept everything in. I didn't tell my parents about the bullying, I didn't tell anyone else about the bullying, and it kind of just self-combusted in my face, because I would just keep everything in. I wouldn't even go home and like tell my parents. I was keeping all this pain to myself. Then when I finally told my parents, it was like a whole weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, it wasn't my burden to carry anymore. And I feel like sometimes it's, you know, it's scary to tell people what you're going through, but when you tell people, there's a certain amount of weight that goes off of your shoulders, because you feel like you're not carrying this burden by yourself anymore. There's someone else to help you lift this weight. And that's the beautiful thing about trusting people and finding people you do trust, is that, you know, when you do have this fear and you finally tell people about it, show people who you really are, then I feel like people are more likely to help you than just run away. Sometimes it might be embarrassing to cry, so if it's embarrassing to cry in front of other people, you can cry in your room, but make sure not to, you know, bottle it all up. Like, a lot of years worth of pain and crying and not telling anyone can really affect your life in the long term, and kind of cause more fear and anxiety. Another thing with fear is that if you have low self-esteem or low self-belief, it can be hard to let go of this fear, because fear can consume you. And if you think you have nothing in life, and it's kind of hard to explain. When you have fear and that's the only thing you're holding on to, and everything around you is kind of failing, like if you broke up with someone, if your parents are divorcing, your best friend's moving away, if all those things are happening at one time and the only thing you're holding on to is that fear, it can be very, very scary. It can be a very tough ride. I feel like everyone goes through that when just everything in life is just going off the wall bad, and you hold on to one thing. Everyone holds on to one thing because that's a human instinct. And if you hold on to fear, then later on you will be scared and you won't be able to do things that you really want to do. When it comes to holding on to your fear, and when it's that time to let go, and you know you have to let go, you have to know in yourself, realize that in yourself you are a strong person if you have come this far, and you have to let go, because you have to believe in yourself that you have enough strength, you have enough emotion and personality and love for something, that it's time to let this go and everything's gonna be okay. Everything will end up being okay because everything happens for a reason. I think that that's like a huge part of my life, that realizing that everything's gonna happen for a reason. If it's not meant to be, it won't happen, but if it's meant to happen, it'll happen eventually. When I went to Parsons School of Design, that was my dream since I was 8 years old, and I got there and it wasn't the school that I wanted to go to. It wasn't the type of school I wanted to go to, nor was I learning anything new that I wanted to learn. And then I came back home. I came back to California because I was like, I want to change my major as well, and also it was pretty much like a disappointment. When I got there, I thought it was going to be this amazing dream come true. There was a point where I kind of realized that this isn't what I want to do in life, so I came back to California, and there was probably like 5 months afterwards where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I might have just given up something that was amazing. Maybe it was the wrong decision, and there were so many doubts behind it, and I was so scared. And I feel like people tend to overthink things when they're really scared, and I know that I definitely do that. But 5 months later, I got a full-time job, and I'm working for a company that I really love, and I am so proud to be working for them, and this is pretty much what I want to do in life. I started taking some marketing classes. Now I'm working for them, and it probably took me about 6 months to get over this fear that, you know, I might have made the worst decision in my life by leaving Parsons and leaving New York, because that had been my dream for so long. But when I came back, you know, I was really scared. But when I came back and I got a job and I moved out of my house, I'm living on my own in San Francisco, I'm meeting new people, going to events, I slowly started to realize that I'm becoming more and more happy. I'm becoming more confident with myself, because I was able to, you know, get away from something that wasn't good for me, and I was able to move out even though I was terrified to, and now I am doing something that I really love. And you know, it just kind of comes to show that, you know, in the there's always a future. There's always going to be something out there that's good for you, you know. And maybe if you're scared now, you can always just work towards it. It's not something you can like snap your fingers and the next day you're not going to be scared of doing something. It's just that you have to live spontaneously, because honestly you really don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, in a week, a month, a year. And when you do kind of overcome your fear and are able to just fly through life and do everything that you want to do every single day the way you want to live your life, it slowly becomes a lifestyle, and sooner you'll become more confident and you'll be fearless. And so that is what I have to say about fear. I know this was a long video, but I hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to leave any requests down below for my Stay Strong month of March, and I will leave all my social media sites down below as usual. Thank you guys so much for staying here and supporting me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Love you guys.